Hey YouTube, it's Melissa Hurt of Integrative Studio here with another video to help you become clear, productive, and influential. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to stop negative thinking. Negative thinking is exhausting and it only brings you down. So let's get to the root of it, pluck it out, and find some positivity in life, right? So be sure to stay to the end because I'm going to share with you a video that I want you to do next to get on the path to positivity. All right, so negative thinking can be all-consuming. We can have opportunities presented to us that we immediately go to thinking, this will never work, or I'm going to fail, or this is a setup, or whatever it is. Whatever that inner critic is telling you, it's going to sabotage your best efforts. Negative thinking also happens with expectations of other people, thinking they're never going to follow through on what they say. Maybe you've been disappointed in the past and something from the past is setting you up for how you expect other people to follow through for you, but it only tears down your relationships. So we've got to stop negative thinking. So what I want you to do is you have to be aware of your thoughts. So start to notice when those negative thoughts are happening. And every time you come up with a negative thought that is predicting a negative outcome or giving a negative attribute to a person, a thing, an opportunity, I want you to catch yourself and ask yourself this question. Is that true? Just be as evidence-based as possible. Is that true? The thought that you just had, is that true? And then number two, ask yourself, what evidence do I have to support whether it's true? And again, just go by the evidence. Now, people's actions will always show you evidence. So if a person has always followed through for you in the past, then that's your evidence that they will follow through for you in the future, right? So what is the evidence that supports this being true? Or what is the evidence that supports this being not true? But be as evidence-based as possible. And then if you discover that there's really no evidence to support the statement, but for some reason you're still holding on to it, the third question is, by hooking myself onto this thought, the outcome I am getting is blank. Now, this is where it gets real. This is where it gets real. If you are hooking yourself on a negative thought, you are in some way finding a benefit of having that negative thought. Maybe it's to hold yourself back from leveling up in an opportunity at work. So let's say, for example, you get an opportunity at work to take on a massive presentation that could show a beautiful skill set that you have to your team. It could give a massive win to your organization, and it could promote you to a larger position. Sounds amazing, but the negative thought might be, I'm totally not going to do that because I'm just going to screw the whole thing up. I'm not going to screw the whole thing up. So then the process would be, is that true? Would I screw that up? No, I don't think so. I know how to do the things that they're asking me to do. But what evidence do I have from screwing things up in the past? And if you were to look back on your past and you say, well, you know, I've always been able to follow through on things and I've always done things well, and I've always gotten good feedback. So then what is the hook that I'm getting by holding on to this narrative that I'm going to screw things up? That's the negative thought. The hook would be, well, then I don't have to become vulnerable in front of my team and take on something scary. I don't have to risk exposure that maybe I don't have a skill set that I'm not quite sure about. You can see where I'm going with this. So by hooking onto that negative thought, you're holding yourself back in some way to keep yourself safe. So let's pluck out this weed because that is not going to get you anywhere. Next time you have the negative thought, be evidence-based and interrogate it. Hold it under a flashlight, look it in the eye and say, Are you telling me the truth here? Find the evidence that supports it. And by evidence, people's actions, outcomes that you've been able to create in the past, those are evidence. And then fully, wholeheartedly ask, what is the benefit I am in some way receiving by hooking on to this negative thought? And once you do that enough, if you do that throughout an entire day or over a week, write it out in a journal to really process it and mark it, hold yourself accountable in your journal, you will see a thread of an inner critic, a self-saboteur, and you'll begin to see a pattern. And then you can go deeper with this interrogation and look at the pattern and begin to dismantle it. Because once you see something objectively before you, you have everything you need to step above and beyond it. All right. So that's where I want you to start. Now, if you want more support with this, I am a coach. I help people with this. I'm a personal development coach and a communication coach, because those two things are interconnected. The way that we communicate with others and even to ourselves, our self-talk, is absolutely connected to how we develop and grow in our lives, and vice versa. So leave a comment below on how this process resonates with you. Give this video a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to my channel so you can be the first in line to get all the videos that I've been sharing of tools and strategies to help you get clear, productive, and influential. And yes, let me hold you accountable right now. Drop a comment below that says truth, so that we know we are going to pursue the truth to get out of this negative mindset so that you can grow into your best self. Thanks.